Police officer in my city caught saying deceased 26-year-old woman had limited value. A cop in my city recently hit and killed a pedestrian as the cop was speeding to respond to an emergency. The woman was crossing the street and had the right of way. Cop was going 75 in a 25 and struck and killed her. Daniel Otterer, another Seattle cop, was caught on body cam laughing about her death, saying, "She was 26 anyway. She had limited value." Limited value. How absolutely nauseating that they can even speak of a dead woman in that way. Text in 20 the 20 body 20 camera 20 footage. 22 she 20 had 20 limited 20 value. 22 text in 20 the 20 body 20 camera 20 footage. 22 she 20 had 20 limited 20 value. 22. Absolutely disgusting. People like this who clearly don't experience empathy have no business being in this line of work. I'm appalled. Fuck the SPD. They have such a long history of shit like this and their police union protects them every time. Editing to add that the last time I called 911 here in Seattle, the dispatcher straight up told me they wouldn't send help because the victim was homeless. That's how they operate. The argument I received was basically these homeless women are out there by choice and just asking for it anyway, so it's not worth our time. While a woman was literally running down the street screaming that the man chasing her was going to kill her. Janavi Kandula was 23. He had her age wrong. Not that he cared. I'm outraged and ashamed that people in our city need to fear the police as much as, if not more, any crime. His position in the police union and his comfort with saying such disgusting things shows the type of people that are not only accepted, but hoisted to leadership positions within the Seattle Police Department. They aren't ashamed of this line of thinking, only angry when it becomes public. My heart breaks for Janavi's family and friends and what they must be going through to lose her, and for her to be devalued as she was. Janavi Kandula, a 23-year-old Northeast University student, arrived in Seattle from Bengaluru, India, in 2021. She was pursuing a Master of Science in Information Systems at the College of Engineering and was set to graduate this December. She deserves to be remembered as a person and not just a victim of a POSCOP. I usually get downvoted when I point out that cops dehumanize the public. Maybe not this time. As someone who routinely walks around town with my music on, I'm amazed by the story pointing out she was wearing AirPods. So what? Dude was going 74 in a 25 without his emergency signals activated. Even if they were, he must honor the intersection. You can't just barrel through. You must respect all traffic already in control of the intersection. Cops think there are 3 categories of people. Cops, who they think are the warrior good guys, immune from any consequences. Criminals, potential criminals, who always deserve whatever punishment cops want to mete out. Expendables, who are everyone not listed above. There's no reforming that system. I work as a paramedic, and while we also exceed the speed limit at times when we're called to an emergency, I wouldn't dream of doing 75 in a fudging 25 zone. On the highway with not much traffic? Sure. In a city? Hell no. Maybe 5 to 10 above the speed limit if traffic and time of day allow it. But I drive the ambulance to get to help people, not to cause more injuries. Ah yes. The Waystar Royco NRPI ranking no real people involved. When men say things like this, it's a message of how they really feel. It's horrifying, but I can't let myself forget it. I remember all of it. I'm always wary. I hate living in this world. We've been trying to tell people that cops are not the good guys. But it's only a few bad ones. Yeah. Where are the good ones condemning this? They're all silent. That's all you need to know. There needs to be a very serious evaluation of the manosphere and its consequences. We really can't go on with people like Andrew Tate spreading this rhetoric and emboldening men to think this way. He was the vice president of the Seattle Police Union, and he was speaking to the president of the Seattle Police Union. These are the people the cops elected to represent them. There are no good cops because a good person would have stood up against these fascist pigs. The woman's death was months ago and there were no consequences for the cop who murdered her. Driving 74 in a 25 on his way to a non-emergency call without running his siren. Every cop is a corrupt bastard. Her name was Janavi Kandula. She was a grad student from India. OP's title is wrong, she was 23. Though the pig said that she was 26. She did nothing wrong. Guess being a model minority only goes so far. I've been trying to tell other Indian Americans that cops aren't our friends. That they'd turn on us as easily as they do against others. Maybe now they'll listen. Wow, peak for women is getting lower and lower, isn't it? That's not weirdly pedophilic sounding at all. Someone needs to check his hard drive stat. 26 is old now? Geez. I'd love for him to tell his mom or grandmother how much value he thinks they have to their face. I heard the recording and it is so callous. The way he laughs and talks, this is way beyond shocking. I am an immigrant who's lived in Seattle for a while and contributed to the commune there. I am beyond incensed at this whole situation. Thanks for sharing. Wasn't one of them part of the Seattle Police Union as well? This is how they treat the people they're supposed to protect. This was 2 blocks from my apartment. And I happened to see the massive response after it went down. That intersection crosswalk is well marked, but also extremely dangerous even though the limit is 25 miles per hour due to the number of confused drivers pulling out blindly or looking for parking spots in the bike lanes. And of course the cops think it was the woman's fault. How can he mean that? How can anyone say that about a dog, much less a human, please? I'm not deliberately trying to come across as some ultra-humanitarian honest, just well. I am one, we all are. Seriously, don't understand. Not only was he the vice president of the Police Officers Guild, but he was talking to his boss, the president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild. They both need to resign. It's so fucked up that he was saying she is a normal person. I bet if she has been a homeless person it would have gone unreported. If it had been someone important he would have been shitting his pants. Disgusting. ACAB. I wish I hadn't listened to the body cam footage. His voice made my skin crawl and what he said was horrific and terrifying. That poor woman and her family. Money is never a consolation for something like this, but I hope they sue the department into oblivion. They clearly don't have empathy or care, so money is the only way to make them hurt. A hands clapping C, hands clapping A, hands clapping B. Janavi Kandula, 23, Indian, international grad student, supporting a single mother back home. So this POS cop wasn't just laughing that this woman had limited value, but this young minority woman had limited value. What value does this POS cop think he's contributing to the planet? Otterer is the vice president of the Seattle Police Officers Guild, the largest law enforcement labor union in the Northwest. And this is the problem with policing. You have crazy asshole running them. The whole thing is despicable. He got her age wrong too and said she was 26, she was 23. My city killed a 12-year-old without even getting out of their car. This is all over Indian subreddit. It was an Indian girl. People are wondering if it was racism, or sexism, or both.